Yo, it's your boy Dean.
Tim.
Taram.
And you're another episode of D's Office. Once again, I want to thank everybody for listening. Subscribe, listen, share, do all that good stuff. Instagram. And also, I know I keep saying Dean's Office. The Dean, the E is with a 3. So if you having issue trying to find it, it's because the 3. Before we jump into the episode, I got a question to you. I know what we've been seeing was the sugar daddy shorts. That's what they call, right?
Hoochie daddy.
Hoochie daddy. Mm-hmm. You with it or you not?
To a certain extent, I think there needs to be a rule applied. No more than 3 inches above your knee.
3? That seems a little high.
Oh, you know, 2.
2 inches? What about you? You with the sugar daddy?
No.
So you
for me, all my shorts
to your calf.
Goes on to my knees.
Your calf.
To my knees.
You say you still wear the big pocket pants, right?
I wear it today in the army.
He still wear cargo pants.
Cargo pants.
I still wear cargo pants. You can't go wrong with cargo pants.
Yeah,
it's so convenient.
They go to his calf.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go to my ankles next
I
time.
thought he say his nuts.
But just some rules applied to it. That's all.
All right, so we about to jump into some a good topic today. You know, politician. Politics and politicians, are they messing up everything?
Yeah, basically, we want to know, are they helping or hurting us?
All right, let's go. Let's rock into it. Yo.
World, you're needed in the Dean's office.
Welcome back, students, to another episode of Dean's Office. Pulling the Dean, we got a good one for y'all. We gonna discuss how politics. So oftentimes when something happened, and we're gonna I refer to it over the past couple of weeks. We had a couple of shootings, one in the school, and then the other one at the supermarket where they targeted black people.
Was it in one of the church too?
And then one was at a church when they targeted Asian people.
Black people.
Oh, Asian.
Yeah,
Asian people. And I think one actually the other night too in Tennessee. I think one just hit in Tennessee too. I'm not sure. I think 6 to 10 people got injured or hurt or died. I'm not sure. I didn't have a chance to actually because it just happened. So now, what the biggest thing is, whenever there's a shooting or there's anything that major happen in this country, right? There's the first thing is my side. It's my side. This Democrat, Republican. Your side, that Democrat, Republican. Where it's a divide on when it's pertaining to what the solution. How can we fix it? How can we make it better? Like, what are your thoughts on politics? How do you feel that it impact us or holding us in the same spot because one side don't want to give. It might be a good idea, but I don't want to give.
So my thoughts on that is I think politics is what's hurting us, actually. I think it's the problem. We can't find real solutions to things because of deals that people already made with large support groups, and they can't really amend laws or adjust laws because then they'll upset the people that give them the most money. The NRA, I think, donates, I saw a figure somewhere like $10 to $15 million to politicians to support their campaigns.
Yeah.
They don't want that to leave. So what that does is it boxes out an idea of, okay, yeah, maybe guns are necessary to protect yourself and your family. You need it. But I just think there needs to be a little bit more rigor around the way that you can get guns, right? Like this dude recently, I'm talking about the shooting that happened in Texas. The dude was 18 years old, just turned 18. He walked in, bought a gun on the 17th of May, then bought another gun 2 days later, I think, on May 19th, and then another day bought 375 rounds. As the person that's selling you this stuff, you'll be like, what the heck is going on? But all they saw was money. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think in my eyes, the people that sell guns are also complicit in it because they don't want to have any restrictions because they don't want to lose money. So and politics ain't gonna help because they're gonna back it.
Let me ask you a question though. Do you think I know we say politics and so forth. Do you think it's a culture though? The culture different? And let me explain. So when we in urban areas associate guns, right? Oftentimes when you see in urban areas or areas where, I guess black areas, you oftentimes when we have those discussions with guns, it's either we protecting ourselves, right, or we worried about harm. You get what I'm saying? Whereas when you see in Texas in those rural areas, they discuss hunting or different culture. Some of them tell you I had a gun since I was 9 years old. My dad taught me how to shoot. Whereas for us, if you tell somebody, "Oh, I let my son hold my gun," they're gonna look at you crazy. Where we at? Do you think it's more so the culture of what the guns mean to each culture?
It depends on how you look at it. Look at who are the people that's shooting up these places, right? Usually, I don't want to discriminate, but it's usually white or Hispanic people.
Fair color.
Right? Fair colored people. Supposedly the people who really support gun laws. In our culture, they get those, like, there's a deeper problem than just weapons on itself. Like, our culture, in my eyes, I think that we push violence and we, like, anything illegal is cool in the black culture to me, I think. You know what I mean? Even scamming, like, I hate thieves, right? But women go after scammers, right? You get what I'm saying?
You mean to date? To
date, right. And I hate people who steal. Like, stealing and killing is like the bottom of the barrel to me, people. You know what I'm saying?
So long as they ain't stealing and killing,
to be honest
fine
with
with it.
I don't blame drug dealers. Like, if people want to buy it,
but I think drug dealers have a bigger impact than someone that's stealing. But those people have a choice. When somebody steals from you or they take your life, you ain't got no choice. You ain't have a choice. How you have a choice if you addicted to something? Addiction is hard to beat. You ain't never been addicted to something. No, it don't necessarily gotta be drugs either.
But it's still a choice. No matter if it's hard, all choices ain't easy or hard, but it's still a choice. And I know we can blame culture, but it seems as though, the right, I'm an independent person. I don't consider myself Democrat, even though I've been voting Democrat recently. But I don't consider myself.
But on your voter's registration card,
I just been too lazy to change it because when I was 18. It was Democrat. Yeah, but me in my terms of policy,
you going to Democrat was just solely because that's what black people did.
Yeah. Oh no, because Obama was a Democrat, and I wanted to see Obama president
at the time.
He was running. Then he was running.
Okay. The first time he was running. The second time.
I ain't even researched what
the first time. The first time he was running.
The first time. Yeah, that was my first.
He ain't that young, bro.
That was my first time voting.
Okay.
When Barack Obama, so I was like, I didn't care. It's just wow, black. I remember Tupac rapping about that or whatever, and that's the only thing that was running through my mind. I'm about to see a black president in my time. I was like, shoot, forget that. I don't care what he talking about. He talking about flying pigs or whatever. But what I'm saying is that culture seems like it's a Christian thing to do to be able to protect yourself and whatever the case may be. I don't put you on the spot, dean of religion. But is there something, and you can take some time to research, or we can come back to the question. Is there something about bearing arms, protecting yourself? Because everything I've heard of Jesus is you slap me on the cheek.
You slap me on the cheek, you give him the other cheek.
You give him the other cheek to whatever. Violence isn't the answer. Be humble. Like, there's nothing that's aggressive about Christianity that I remember hearing from the Bible.
Well, no.
The only thing is eye for an eye. I don't know what that means.
There's Christian. The aggression is, you mean as far as Jesus, because the Christian was getting them back in the days. Now.
No. Don't. That's another topic. That's the reason. You know the reason why the reason why we're Christian today is because somebody won a war.
Because somebody won a war. Okay, go ahead.
Listen to me now. That's all I'm saying. So Christianity, we all know, it didn't get really pushed until the Roman Catholics picked it up, right? They're the ones, the Roman Empire. They're the ones that really picked it up, whatever the case. Not Christianity, because that's Christ, but believing in God, whatever the case would be. Like,
you mean Catholics?
Catholics.
Big difference.
Yeah,
okay.
Catholics, not the Roman people, but Catholics, right?
Catholics, yes.
So when they started spreading it,
but we not Catholic though.
Yeah, we're truly not.
I know we're not Catholic, but I mean that whole religion tree is the reason why, you know, the reason why that happened.
So you blaming the Catholics for our religion, or you giving them credit for the religion?
I'm not giving them anything. I just want to know, because I feel like right now our politics is being run by the extreme left or the extreme right, like people that are like crazy. You ever heard those terms? When they say extreme left, extreme life, like the people that, like in Tennessee now, you can't even get pregnant. Once you're pregnant, that's it. No more. Is that Tennessee?
I don't know where is that. Or it might be Mississippi.
Or Mississippi,
or somewhere there. I know they're restricting abortion law.
After conception, there's no.
As soon as you shoot up the club, that's it. The club closed.
Yeah. So I always want to know where that's like. Was Christianity always that judgmental?
It wasn't. It wasn't judgmental. But before Christ came about, we had something where we go by the laws, the Mosaic Laws, right? Where it talks about if something happened, this is the consequences that behoves to happen, right? When they first created the first 10 commandments, what did they tell you?
The first? They got more than one?
The first 10 commandments. They did it, then they broke it up, and they had to recreate it again.
Wow. If
you know the whole story of Moses, when he went up there, God created the tablets in the beginning. He came back down, saw the people messing up and everything, so he threw the tablets at them to destroy them. And then he went back up and God created another.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm supposed to know that story.
Yeah, you're supposed to know.
So if anybody who see me in church,
you think I was mad at Moses? Like, God dang it, boy.
I don't.
I just gave you these tablets and you broke it.
I don't think he was mad at Moses per se. I think he
was
was
mad at the people,
right? Because what he have done so much for them, right? But they still doubted what the things that he did. They still questioned his ability to help.
He was taking off false gods,
and they built a golden ram. They did all this other stuff, golden calf or whatnot, and he didn't like that because one of the commandments was, "Thou shalt not worship any other god besides me." That's like one of the biggest things when it came to that. But going back into that is when you start looking at the different laws that was written back then, what they call the Mosaic Laws. It was about like 613 of them, right?
613 laws.
It could be about 613 laws.
This is what depends whether I get in heaven or not.
So that's what they.
Boy, I'm on down bad.
613. That's what they thought was.
At least got 600.
I'm down bad. But 613.
But once again, I mentioned that because that was the Mosaic Law when you part of Judaism, right? The Jewish people were on that part. When Christ came, I don't say he abolished that, but he was telling them, you don't need these laws in order to get to heaven. You just believe in me. So just like how when we were talking about the Catholics before, when they wanted to ask for forgiveness, they go to the priest and ask the priest, how many do you forgive me so I can whatever. We don't have that in our religion, which is Christianity, because Jesus is our mediator. So
he died for our sins.
So once he came to him, we take it to him, he could be able to go to the Lord on our behalf. So I mention that because back then they created those things, laws, to help us realize what our sins was. That's the 16 part.
To control our behavior.
Control the behavior, let you know, hey, these are the things you should not do, right? So now, when Jesus came, he came to like I said, he didn't really come to abolish the laws. He came to fulfill it, and he said, you know what? The biggest principle that you need to know right now is to love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's what he came out and promoted. So going back to when you see it now, it's like there is no, I might be wrong, but my interpretation, there wasn't no true consequences at that one. Because even when I think Peter came to Jesus and asked him, hey, how many times we should forgive somebody? Peter said, oh, we should forgive him 7 times.
Being God.
Peter said,
stop trying to correct the man.
Because he said, okay, I want to make sure, because I'm
learning
as they learning, so I want to make sure I ask the questions they were saying.
He don't stroll through his phone and Twitter at church.
So Peter asked Jesus,
actually sit on my phone, so make sure I don't stroll through.
Yeah, so Peter was like, oh, you know what? I think I know the answer 7 times. And the Lord said, no, 70 times 7. So it's an abundance of time you're supposed to forgive somebody.
So back in those days, 70 times 7 seems like a lot to them.
You know, 7 times seems like a lot to them.
No, that's what I'm saying.
No. I guess what Jesus was trying to say is a lot. Yeah, 70 times 7 is a lot. You know what I mean?
It's but to them back then, though.
Yeah.
For that part. So get back what it's saying. So I would have to do some true research and see, but there is no true consequences in that. But they do tell you to love yourself. So you're not gonna offend nobody else because you want that person. You will take care of that person as much as you care for yourself.
So
unless you busting, like say you pull up on me and talk, get greasy.
right,
I
and
can
in that
bust you.
case, I get it, I understand. But the reason, because this is what I'm trying to drill down to, right? Because I know there's a lot of politics, right? So the first thing we touch on is the gun law thing, right? And understand what we need to get to. So I've heard the right say, "Oh, we need to secure the schools a little bit more because, taking away a gun doesn't mean necessarily going to make it safer." They want to have 3 police officers patrolling. They want to have metal detectors. They want to have 1 or 2 points of entry. They want to have that the doors are reinforced, that they lock from the outside once it closes and only can be open from the inside.
Oh, okay.
So like that type of thing. So you won't be able to, and I get those type of things, but I think they just circling the wagons to just trying to hit a specific problem and trying to put a Band-Aid like on like a big cut that's really bleeding.
But I think
So
I think for me, when I was looking at it, I know to go after the gun laws, all this other stuff. I truly believe in the Second Amendment because one of the parts is it should not infringe.
You sound like
on our
somebody who
rights.
got that pistol. That's what that means.
Listen, that means right when there was actions, you should not infringe on the person bearing arms. That's one of the key parts of the Second Amendment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that part. But the thing with that I think that all of us are debating is why should I have access to a AR-15 or AR-15 or a rifle or but that's what I'm saying. So when it comes, I understand.
I'm not saying a fringe. So I'm not saying a fringe on anything. I'm just saying put things in place to where you can track.
No,
so this is what I'm saying. So to get a car, right? Driver's license. You got to renew that license every so often, right? You got to take a test.
I understand.
Right?
I agree with you 100%.
You don't take a test every time.
No, you don't take a test every
Just take
time.
the eye
First time you
test.
get it,
Yeah,
have to take a test.
you got to take a test, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, you
Yeah.
gotta go to driver's school, whatever. And you still got to take a test. And you
a
still
road
got to
test
pass.
as well.
Right, a road test or whatever. When you get a
And
passport,
drug
they
and alcohol.
still background checking you to make sure that you're not a whatever type of criminal. You know what I'm saying?
For what?
To make sure you're not like a drug pin
When you get your passport.
when you get your passport.
Oh, passport. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
like-
hear what you said. My bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like you do things to make sure that you understand who is obtaining this very dangerous thing, right? Like traveling in and out of the country is very dangerous. So we track who goes in and out of the country as best we can. But you know what I mean? Like we try to do those things.
But that's what I was saying. I wasn't saying I'm agreeing everything with the Second Commandment.
Tim, it sounds like you
All
have 4
I'm
guns
saying-
on you right now. This is
Yeah,
what you're trying
dog.
to do.
Listen, all I'm saying.
When you pat that boy before
Listen,
he came
all
up
I'm
in
saying
either,
is
bro.
this, right? That was created back in what it was 1797 or something. Way
You
back
sure
in
about that? Don't
1776.
It was when it was ratified. Let me pull it up real quick. I was looking at it just now, but whenever it was ratified, that was during different times. 1791, like I was saying, December 15, 1791, when it was ratified. So I'm looking at that and thinking, but being as it may, everything else that has been created has been an addendum to what was written back then. So they made some adjustment according to whatever time it was. Back then, like I said, I'm not wasn't back then, but it seemed like it was almost an all for free for all. During that time, you had the civil rights and all this other stuff going on. Not the civil rights movement, but the Civil War, right? All the stuff was going on. So you wanted to make sure everybody had the access to these weapons. Now, if you look at all the laws that they doing now, they want to change voters' rights. That were back then in 1965. They're trying to bring that up and make changes in that. No, listen what I'm saying. Do what I'm saying. When it comes to other things, they're trying to make adjustment because why? That suit this day and age. So going back to what you were saying, if we can put back then prohibition wasn't really when it comes to alcohol, it wasn't a true age limit. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's a problem with this. Let's push to 21 to buy alcohol and tobacco. Going along with what you're saying. So why can't we just make those changes to the gun laws and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, you need a license to drive. You got to take a road test, right? You got to do a background check. Why we can't do the same thing for guns? You understand? So I agree with what you're saying, but a lot of people don't see it that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just understand why you need automatic rifles and all these other craziness. Those are not even hunting guns.
Exactly. 'Cause if you shoot somebody, if you shoot a deer with an
It's illegal,
AR-15, no, not only that. If you shoot it with an
messes up.
AR-15,
It's
what
not
meat is
good.
left?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not.
You understand? So you can't say using
That's why
the
you usually
justification.
shoot. They aim for the heart, so it was one single shot, so they can get it. So cutting what it is, it's not a good tool to use to hunt with because it damaged the meat and everything else. I mean, from what I seen on Discovery and other that.
Yeah,
But let me just jump in there. I think it's a combination of both, right? Well, I feel like we do need to make those changes as far as the school. But the biggest issue is no, I'm gonna tell you. But what the biggest issue is gonna be is that's gonna say you make the point of entry, you add safety, you do all that, and it's gonna. And mom, you got to think about it. There's a lot of schools in the United States, right? So you don't even know what school. So now to put all that money in it, so it's. I'm just gonna throw a number out to say to do that. What we ask, what they're requiring to put all these measures to reinforce school to make it safer. Say it's $2 billion, right? Then now the tricky part come in. The teacher gonna say, "Would you rather have all these safety things put in $2 billion or increase my pay?" Right? Because now they're saying because what teachers doing right now, they're saying we're not getting paid enough. So now they're saying there's no money. So now something happened and there's money again. Just like how Biden all of a sudden we don't have money to do student loans, we don't have money to do this, but we just sent $30 billion or $30 million or whatever, $300 million to Ukraine for their war. Like, where is money coming from? Same thing with when COVID popped up. All of a sudden, we could pay for things that we couldn't pay for before, right? Then it's another. The other component of that is we having all these things. I think with the guns, I don't really disagree here and there when it comes to banning the guns. I think the guns can remain because it is fun to shoot. Right? And a lot of time, people that shoot, oftentimes, they shoot for fun, right? Because you're not often, they go to the range or they hunt, they're shooting the gun for fun. Not oftentimes you need those guns. I think the focus got to be more on the process of getting the gun. I think with the background checks, taking tests, see if they firearm educated, things like that, to where they're just not allowing you to just go buy a gun. And as well, I think part of it too, like how you said, he bought a gun here, he bought a gun here, he bought 300 ammunition. So now, when that being said, it should be like a red flag set somewhere saying, oh, this will happen, let's go figure it out. It might be nothing. It might be, like I said,
we should
got money to waste.
A report that say, hey, somebody need to go check that out.
Yeah, you go, it might be that he's just going to shoot the gun or whatever, wherever he's going. And that's why I think that what both sides, that's why I think it's a culture thing, whereas both sides don't understand the culture. You do have people, but what I'm saying, you do have people, but what I mean by understand the culture in standpoint of, I feel this way, right? Because I feel this way, you should feel the same way. Is what I mean by you don't understand the culture. Because you have those people that carry guns that tell you, I had guns, rifles since I was 10 years old. And we shoot this, we leave it in a car. It's nothing. It's a gun. Then you have in certain communities where a gun being in a home is a big thing. You have some homes where we don't want no guns in our house. It's looked at a negative, and other culture looked at it in a positive. So that's why I'm saying you having those two and being able to meet in the middle to where you have some restrictions, some education on it, and as well, if you are in a area to where there's high crime or violence and so forth, just having the rules or process might not look the same as in a rural area, and they do other with it.
But I think people. So here's the thing. I want to make 2 quick points. First point, I don't think culture abstains the presence of responsibility. So what I'm saying is that when you say this is my culture, right? And I grew up with guns. Guns is what makes me, whatever the case may be. That's fine, but do it responsibly. And this is how we're gonna make sure you do it responsibly. We can say drinking is our culture. We can say football is our culture. We gotta do all those things responsibly, right? Like all those things has rules in it, right? Like even if like football is a major culture down here. We gotta take physicals, right? It's a major thing down here. People gotta play their age group. You can't play up, can't play down. You gotta make sure you gotta get an ID to make sure that you play on that. Some leagues require that you take weight. You know what I mean? Like we grew up around it. We watch it every day. There's illegal moves in football. You get what I'm saying? Like there's restrictions in place because although it's your culture, you still need to. And as it stands today, gun laws, like guns and weapons, are the loosest type of things that, like everything else has a lot of laws to it.
A lot of restrictions.
A lot of restrictions, and like it's the loosest thing. And the reason why it is because tell you where people got their guns from. It was white people who like to hunt, slave owners down south, and they just passed that on. The same people that carry Confederate flags and all, whatever the case may be, that's where they get it from.
Let me hit you because because this would just using your example of what I mean by culture, right? You say downhill football. Football is what we do. There's a lot of restriction. You can play football at what, 5 years old. In other culture, they'll tell you football ain't good for you. Why your kid even playing football? So I'm not talking about the restriction because we understand the gun laws restrictions are not as strict as any other thing that you can do at the age of 18. But what I'm just saying as culture, you have some culture that look at football and say it's child abuse. You don't love your kid if you let your child play football. And then you have some culture soon as he turned 5 or 4, whatever the age is, for you to start playing, my kid playing football. That's what I mean by the culture. Because now I'm telling you that's what we do. I'm telling you that we play football, he played football, nothing happened to us. We've been playing since whatever. And then you on the other side, they're telling you CTE and all this going on with football. That's why I mean the same thing apply with guns. Not saying that each culture debate on how strict it should be. What I'm just saying the importance in interaction in the use of guns is based on culture. Because you have in some cultures where they're telling you, we don't want guns. Guns shouldn't be in the house. Guns are bad. Just like how, I don't know if you've seen, it was trending a picture where you had white people going to the prom and they was holding rifles and guns. And then you had a black below it and they were saying, I guess the girl got in trouble and the school didn't like it and so forth. And they were just telling you how to image. And I think when you look at that image, it was based on the culture of your culture of your culture towards guns, and that's what I'm saying. You have, and it doesn't mean skin color. I'm talking about culture because you have some black people that feel the same way as saying that they had guns, whatever is important, learning and so forth.
I know that's what I mean, but all I'm saying is culture shouldn't abstain common sense laws. All I'm saying, like I get however is important to you, it is, or that person, whatever the case may be. Just put in some common sense things. I'm not saying take people AR rifle away. I'm not saying take people shotgun away, whatever the case may be. I think you should have one in your home tucked away, wherever the case may be. I think if you have small children, they need to almost do like wellness checks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people have to understand what you have. You know what I mean? Like, people need to protect their guns like they would protect their money. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just this thing that you're gonna have there we can freely have and whatever the case may be. Like, it needs to be taken with seriousness. I know if it's that important to you, you shouldn't have any trouble with people just making sure that you're the right person to own a gun.
I think what you're going on is true. And this discussion has been a lot because, think about it. We're talking about something. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of the Sandy Hook one, right? When that person came in and killed all those little kids before. What they said, we need to change gun laws. Nothing happened, right? Then we came back in our own neighborhood, the Parkland. Gun law, blah, blah, blah. Nothing happened, right? My thing is this. We still have some of the same people, individuals in Congress, in the Senate, and since back then, who did not change the laws, and they're not going to do it now. Mm-hmm. So my thing is, we as voters, right? That means that they're saying, we don't care what you want, because we're still going to do whatever we want anyway. Because why? Y'all continually voting me back in regardless. Because I'm going to make a little noise now because somebody died, but I'm going to go right back into doing the same thing before. And what I'm saying, the only reason I mention that I'm just saying is this. If we truly wanted to make a difference and we truly want to make gun laws and all this other stuff, change all the people that's in politics right now. Because you know what? For us to hear our voice, I'm gonna get rid of you. You're not listening to me.
You change that person, somebody else that the
but I understand. Understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Those people love their job. They're happy because why? We keep voting them back in, so they feel like they don't have to change. But as soon as you vote them out and put somebody else in, the NR about whatever, but people would know. Oh, you don't do it? Okay, another 4 years, I'm taking you out until I get the right person.
You know what? But two things. And what I think, and which I know it never happened. I think there should be a cap on politicians
but they will never they will never
So
vote for that
just like how there's a cap on being a president. So just like
in the mayor.
Yes.
No. Only reason why I say that is because that's that person's career. What are they gonna do once they're done?
It doesn't. So what you tell presidents to do once they're done?
They're lawyers. They're
Most of them are lawyers.
Yeah,
They
they're
got other
lawyers.
jobs.
They although they might have inspired to go to be a politician, but what I'm saying is, if you give that same opportunity, because you think about it, you have people that's been in government since the 70s. It was racist back then. Racist laws were set up back then, right? So now you're telling me this person changed their heart? Because if they really had a certain passion for equality, they would have done it back then, right?
People say that about Joe Biden.
So, even with Joe
Even with
Biden,
him,
for him to be able to become president now is not good for our country. Because again, now remember when he was running, he's explaining stuff and decisions he's made back then that was a little iffy or seen that it was racist or sexist or so forth. So now you're telling us to accept him now. He changed. All I'm saying is, if you allow these people to do the 8 years or 6 years or whatever and rotate, and you're bringing in fresh blood, because now the way people of this generation think is not the same with the people in the back, but you still have those people from back then telling these people what to do. When you're changing those politicians in, it allows for new ideas, for it to go in line. Just like with the Constitution. How long ago that was written, and we're holding that piece of paper to standards. Did they have internet back then? Did they have social media back then? You get what I'm saying? For us to say, okay, this is what our founding fathers did these so many years ago and holding us together, because I know this is not going to be a popular opinion, but even with the Bible, right? The Bible was written so long ago, and they're telling you it's not so much. No, but what I'm saying is, no. When you go to the Bible, when they tell you, when the pastor or whoever reads you the Bible and they tell you about the Bible, they're not telling you to take the Bible literally as when they tell you we're gonna stone you, right? What they do is, because when you read a scripture, don't the pastor come and interpret it to you, right? So what they're saying, so they're not telling you the literal words of what's going on in the Bible. They're just telling you how that compares to what today's is. But with the Constitution, they're literally following that. Although you go to court and try to interpret it, what they mean, all right? They're literally following those words. So when you have something that's out, I wouldn't say outdated, it's a guideline. I think what we need to do, focus more on the new age, what's different, because their thinking is not the same. What they were going through is not the same. So I think if you have new faces coming in government, you have new ideas coming in, and as well, you're not having politicians saying, you know what, I'm voting Democrat regardless of what the issue is. If you telling me that,
but I think, go along with what you're saying. What I'm trying to say is this: when you ran your campaign, you told me you was gonna do this, and that. You're in office, you didn't do this, and that. So what I'm gonna do? Vote you out next time until I get somebody who is gonna do this, and that. Right? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Because even I know it might be hard to do it. You got to fight with other people, do all this other stuff. But once people start seeing that, like, once again, because why? They're taking our votes for granted. Because just like Biden, when he was going through his thing, oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Oh, his biggest campaign was, man, I'm gonna take away student loan. My student loan didn't get taken away, right? And then you say, oh, I'm gonna do this, and that. Not saying, I know you got to fight with the Congress. I know you got to fight with this. Then now I got the local people. Why are my taxes so high in my city? Why are my insurance going up so high in my city? And you supposed to be in Tallahassee fighting for me, and this is not going? So you know what's going to happen when we vote this time? I'm going to go find somebody else who's going to try to vote, who's going to fight for my rights.
Yeah. So I think a little bit differently on that. And again, like I told you, I'm an independent, not a Democrat or Republican.
I didn't say what my party line was.
I know.
I'm just go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
I just want to make that clear when I say this.
You're independent?
Independent, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Independence. So if y'all know what a group meet up at for independent, let me know. I know we only get like 1% of the vote in the country, but let me know. No. In all seriousness, one of the things that the reason why I can't ever fall into line with Democrats and I can't ever fall into line with Republicans, because the one thing I do agree on Republicans is it should be what can I do for my country, not what my country could do for me, type of thing. And I think a lot of that happens in our black community and all the handouts that we think should happen. I don't want to get into loans. I know everybody has their own different things on that. But to me, if you signed that contract, right, and saying, I need this and I'm going to pay it back. Because if I loan you money, hold on, wait, give me a second. If I loan you money and all of a sudden the president said, hey, Teran, I know Tim owe you $20,000, but we're giving him forgiveness. Hold on, wait, give me a second. Let me finish.
No, go ahead.
Y'all gonna just be able to jump in.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna let y'all jump in and I'm gonna go to my other point.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be upset because now I'm out $20,000 and I just loaned that to you and we had an agreement. When you get a loan, they make you sign a contract.
Okay.
Saying that you promising to. Now, if you really want to help, right? Don't give me a gift. Regulate tuition costs for universities, saying you can't go if a less cost of living or balancing based on wage, balance based on whatever the case is, where your tuition costs can't be this, because schools, universities have unnecessary things now. Like, it's not about learning anymore. They like have so many stupid things on campus and do so many different stupid things. Like they do research campuses and all these other things. Like they need to level.
Research is needed, but go ahead.
It kind of does.
Needed.
No,
get what you're saying. I want you to say that. That's great. No, that's great. What you're saying is right. But think about it. What do we get in debt for? Education, learning. Where you go to other countries where it is free, right? Go to other countries.
Higher learning is free. What country is higher learning free? In college.
You're trying to tell me you go to Canada and all these other places and they don't take care
Canada
of it?
let you go to college for free?
I don't know. I don't know what.
Y'all please tell me where there's a free college place.
But I think it is. I think because I don't want to give you false information. I think it is because I think it is some countries that have free education, but I think the taxes are higher. That's how they offset it. But I'm gonna tell you, I think I get what you're saying. I agree with a lot of people just want to take the loan and not eat it. But I think the issue is if a government funded loan. I'm not talking about a personal loan or a private loan, but as a government funded loan, right? You found it, huh? It is a country that's free.
The high cost of U.S. college education has many prospective students looking at other countries that offer free or low cost programs, including Norway, Finland, Sweden, Germany, France, and Denmark.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Ooh, so there's no school there's no way to get a free education.
Hold on.
Okay.
So hold on. So what I think is, and I'm talking about the government funded loans, right? I'm not talking about the personal or anything like that. But I feel like as a government, what you saying is, yes, we regulate it. But the same thing, you saying paying it back. The issue is not so much paying it back. It's the interest of what you making me pay it back.
There's no interest on government loans.
There is.
No, it's not. I don't know what the heck government loans y'all got.
Only you don't pay.
So wait. Hold on. When you go to no interest on your loan.
When you go to school.
There's two types of loans.
Hold on.
That.
When you
did y'all read it? When y'all did the fast one?
Yes, it's called subsidized and unsubsidized.
Correct.
We know that.
Subsidized is when you don't have any interest. You just pay it back.
Terrell, you're trying to tell me there's one that says you're not going to get interest on your loan while you're currently in school. But once you out of school, you're getting paid interest on that.
If they gave you $20,000 for school, you're not just paying on $20,000. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by.
We got to make sure we got to bring you to the dean office.
Yeah, bro. You sure? So you press kids. Hold on. So what I'm saying, this is what I mean by. What I'm saying is, if a government say, boom, we want you to further your education and go so forth, we're gonna give you $20,000, right? Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have to pay you back $25,000 to $30,000. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I'm technically now rather than furthering your people, you're profiting. Why you think Sally Mae got in trouble? Why you think what's the Navient got in trouble? They got in trouble. What I'm just saying is there was predatory loans. That's what it's called. So what I'm saying is, if I get it would make sense what you saying if we did it this way. Hey, I go to you. Hey, I need $20,000 to go to the school. You as the government say, I got you. I'm gonna give you the $20,000.
No interest.
Once you finish school, start paying the $20,000. Give me the $20,000 back. I'm not making it off of you. All I'm doing is setting it so if you do stop paying, or if you do not do, then I'm gonna hit you with interest and blah blah blah. That would make more sense. That part of it I can understand.
Okay.
If it was just straight up, I'm paying you back. You're not. You're making a profit off of me. Think about it, dog. You go through all these ups and downs to get a house. You go through all these ups and downs to get a car. Man, you go to student loan, bro. You 18. You ain't got no credit, and they giving you $20,000. Then they give
no problem.
No problem. Oh, you here go $20,000, right? Just it's the same way with the gun laws. That don't even make sense to you. Because if that's the case, why not give me a business loan? If that's the case, why not let me be able to buy a house? No, but I'm just saying with a business loan, I'm not saying they got to do, but same thing. At least I'm coming with you with a plan to say what I'm gonna do. Because when you go to school, all you're gonna say, because again, you're saying I want to go be this. They don't even know that because you don't even know. Sometimes you switch the major and they still give you money. You told them I want to be a doctor and you got halfway through and switched it and they said we still give you the money. With a business loan, they looking at you like, well, you ain't do.
No, I want a whole business plan.
But I can agree with that. I can agree with it should be flat line. Should be no interest rate. I think that's pretty fair. With the thing I don't like is the people that want their student loans completely wiped out. And not even pay back for because that it costs. You got to pay those professors. You got to pay that. They keep their lights on. You know what I mean?
Which is.
And then also you got people that went. And then you got people that went to for-profit schools and want those to like.
I think
you gotta be smart.
I think what you can look at, and I know it's not a popular, but what I think you can look at is circumstances, right? Because I'm gonna tell you why circumstances. Because say if you went to school, you did everything you supposed to, I'm gonna pay you back, and something happened to you, right? So I'm just saying. Say you have your job. So say what I'm saying is. So say something happened to you physically that you can't do what you was required to go get that money to do, or say the amount that you're telling me I'm paying, I can't pay it, or so forth. I'm just saying something can happen. Everything is not a clear cut. Oh, you went to school, pay my money back. What I'm just saying is I can understand if there's a unique circumstances to where we said we're gonna forgive you.
So
you get what I'm saying?
So basically, person had to. Like
I don't know.
But they gotta. They just
I don't know.
Can't work.
I don't want to get. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're right. If I hurt my back and I can't work, or if it's something, I have a disability, I can't work.
But they give you checks for that.
What money? Yeah, but
the check is not your cost of living is not gonna be able to take care of.
I know, but that's what I'm. So here's the thing.
You won't. But you
not to try to create a law right now. But I'm just saying, if someone who owed old school loans, which they do today. And you're getting a disability check. Let's say you're awarded $2,100 because your potential, your disability, you're not getting $2,100. You just get $1,500 because of what you owe.
No, but
that's fair. But then how are you gonna pay the rest of the other bills and stuff?
But that's why you get
no. But that's what I'm saying. If you look at how much
cost
it costs,
of living, if you telling me my rent is $2,000 and disability is $2,000, you take
it be $2,000.
Where you gonna live? Where you think you gonna live? And you still paying $1,500. And you still paying $1,500.
Wow.
There's an efficiency.
You still paying $1,500 though.
Look, all I'm saying is,
this boy,
all I'm saying is,
this boy, you sure you ain't Republican? You sure you ain't Republican, bro?
I know, and that's the one part. Now here's a part where I'm definitely not Republican on. Like I do believe that people should have the right to be who they are. You know what I mean? I want to say for the camera. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a problem with, like, gay people and, like, transgenders and all this other stuff. Like, I'm not one of those that, like, whatever the case would be. You know, I'm Christian. You know what I mean? I believe in the Lord. I know what we practice. But I'm not one that's like, oh, you get married? Shame on you. Da-da-da. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with it. Like, do whatever. Like, wherever you do with your time is what you do with your time. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, how they trying to stop all these laws against gay marriages and trying to do all these things against transgender. I do think we need to talk a little bit more about race in our country. Like, you get what I'm saying?
We can do that definitely because it's a lot of problems.
Right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We need to talk a little bit more. I'm not one fool. The topic I don't want to talk about. I think we need to talk about critical race theory when it's
think we do.
introduced. It's
so.
a different story, and when it's introduced, is also a different story. But again, I think it's something that we need to talk about. So that's why. So
we can definitely talk about those.
right. So that's why, to me, you know what I'm saying. When I say I'm independent, is because there's certain issues I agree with and certain issues that I don't. And one of the things that like a lot of people skim through it when they vote, I actually read it. Is the little the little laws that they try to bypass in the voting. Some people just go do like the little X, the Christmas tree mark.
No, that's what I was saying before.
Not the Christmas tree. What they do is just go down to party.
And they go down
Democrat,
and that's what I was saying. Even when they go down to party as well, but there's also laws, regulations, articles, and stuff that they put in there that nobody reads about. We as a community don't do the research on what those balls and those bills would ask us to do because right. Listen, I'm just but I think for we as a community, right, have to understand it's okay to be independent. It's okay to be Republican. It's okay to be Democratic, right? It's okay to do all that stuff, and that's what I want us to do. There's no problem with that. We as a people have to understand if I vote for you, I'm voting for you because you're doing for my best interest. And if you don't do my best interest, I have the right to vote you out, right? And that's what I wanted. I really wanted to, to put it out there because many a time I really think they take advantage of our votes, especially the black votes. Why? Because let's go get the black people to vote, blah 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 blah, and they don't do nothing for us. But then again, you come back 4 years later, 3 years, whatever it is later, telling me the same stuff that you had before, right? Even and that's us to get off our behind as well to start looking at the local stuff. When they do the mayor for the city of where we live in, how many people do you think actually vote for that person? Right? When you think about the commissioners that's on the seat, how many people actually get out and talk to that person? Then when they're voting on a particular matter, who goes to the city hall and listen to it?
Yeah, City Hall.
Nobody.
City Hall need to have a virtual link. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they probably doing virtual stuff now, but we're not taking the effort. We're not doing anything. But then we said, hey, you know what? Obama didn't do enough for me, or Joe Biden didn't do enough for me, or what's the dude before us? Trump didn't do enough for me. What do you want them to do for you if you can't go out there and try to go fight for your own stuff?
Right, and that's seeing you are right on the path of what I was saying. It's not what. It's not what your country can do for you.
I'm not saying
you,
that. I did not say that.
In summary, Tavares, that's not what he just said.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
So you're undercover Republican?
Yeah.
I am not an undercover
Republican.
Republican.
Guns. You got a trucker fit hat. Come on now. I see it.
But I just wanted to put it out there as now before is that we can't keep waiting for somebody to do something for us.
Yeah, amen.
Even when you think about it, we're supposed to be a person that's always on the move. If I stay stagnant, nothing is going to change. And that's what we need to do.
Got to be like a stream, not a lake.
Or a stream?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's always moving? Yeah. Oh, I got you. But that's just my piece. Box.
Okay.
Close it out, Ocho.
All right. So, this politics always can be one of those topics to where we can talk about all day. We never can agree 100%. But I do what I want for everybody to take from this this discussion that we had today in today's podcast is voting is important. It's okay for everyone to have a different ideology of what they want and what they see and not condemn the next person because they don't agree. I do think that it's very important that we start putting more emphasis on voting for our local leaders. Because they have a little more impact on us directly. Well, not a little bit more. They have a lot more impact on us directly. I know oftentimes we bring out the votes when it's time to vote for presidency. Just like the midterms that's coming up. I push for everyone to go out there and just vote.
Have they vote for?
I don't care who you vote for. I want you to vote for. I don't want you to vote for somebody because somebody told you to vote for. I want you to have the knowledge and vote for the person that you feel like will better benefit you. Not saying that they will get in office, but I think the more we start to work towards voting that way, then we can come together and find that one person that works with us rather than we're just voting because we're Democrat, independent, or whatever. Let's look at the actual issues and how it affects us, align ourselves with those people that want the same outcome, and then we apply that by voting. Because oftentimes, if you do see an influential neighborhood, when something don't go their way, they're at the city hall complaining, and they're making that because they're saying, we know if you don't do what we said, we're gonna vote you out. Money plays a lot of role in that. The disadvantage we have, the disadvantage we have is that we don't have the money, but the advantage we have is that we have the vote, right? Because they still need our vote, although we're the minority. So I just applaud everyone to take that time out to learn about their local officials, learn about their local laws, learn about what's coming up and anything that's going to be changed, and how do you feel about it and which way you want to vote, and find people that align with that and rally them together and elect those people that agree with them so we can make those changes.
Amen. And if they ain't doing nothing, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, well, they behind out, man. Get somebody in who'll do something. You know what I'm saying?
And once again, I think once we get closer, we'll talk a little bit more about voting again because the primaries, like he said, is coming up, and we want to make sure you have the best information.
Yep. And I also want to know. I know we're gonna talk about this another time. I wonder if Jesus would be a Republican or a Democrat if he came down on earth right now. Who would he vote for? What would Jesus do?
Oh, don't tell him. We're gonna hold it. What would Jesus do? All right. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, listening to us. Like I said, like, subscribe, follow, do all the good things. Remember, it's Dean Office. The Dean is with a 3. Go ahead and get us out there. It's your boy Dean.
Tim.
Teran.
And you're listening to the Dean's Office.